Ever wondered what would happen to your teeth if you didn't brush them? For 69 years. Queen Elizabeth I didn't wonder. She lived it, and the consequences for England's most powerful monarch were absolutely horrifying. Terrible dental practices of the era, harmful habits, and an obsession with image all led to the state Elizabeth found herself in. First of all, dentistry in the 16th century was brutal. People believed toothaches were caused by toothworms, and some even burned gums to get rid of them. There were no professional dentists as we know them today. Barbers often doubled as surgeons and tooth pullers. Tooth extraction was the most common solution for dental problems. There was no anesthesia, so it was extremely painful. Toothache remedies included herbs, vinegar, or honey, but nothing that actually cured decay. There were no real toothbrushes yet. People sometimes filled cavities with wax, lead, or metals, which only made things worse. But why did nobles suffer from cavities more often than the poor? In the 15th century, European powers were sailing to unknown lands, looking for treasure and rare goods. They brought back exotic spices, fruits, and strange new plants. Royal courts were filled with things that were foreign, luxurious, and expensive. At Elizabeth's court, nobles competed to have the newest and rarest treats. Eating these delicacies became a mark of wealth and power. These foods looked harmless, but no one realized the secret danger they carried. That exotic danger? Sugar. Imported from faraway colonies, it became a luxury in England, and the very thing that destroyed the teeth of the rich, including Queen Elizabeth herself. Elizabeth was obsessed with sweets. Chroniclers wrote about her consuming candied fruits, marmalades, and preserved violets. She reportedly ate sugar almost every day, in desserts, sauces, and even in medicinal recipes. At Elizabeth's court, sugar wasn't just food. It was a display of wealth, power, and connection to the wider world. Elaborate sugar sculptures called subtleties were created for royal feasts. These could be castles, animals, or even portraits, all made from sugar. The Queen's daily sugar indulgence, combined with poor dental hygiene and the primitive dentistry of the era, ruined her teeth. But what did they actually look like? Elizabeth's teeth were famously horrible, and we can reconstruct a fairly detailed picture based on historical accounts, context, and what we know about dental decay. Despite being a powerful monarch, Elizabeth's appearance mattered greatly. Courtiers often pretended not to notice, as it was dangerous to insult or upset the Queen. However, foreign dignitaries and enemies mocked her appearance. A contemporary herbalist described her breath as very bad. Her teeth likely had large cavities which made her gums inflamed and infected. She most likely had abscesses in her gums that produced pus, causing constant throbbing pain. Over time, many teeth fell out, and those that remained were brittle, broken, or worn down. By the end of her life, her teeth were blackened, decayed, and rotten. Speaking became difficult to understand, and eating solid foods was agonizing. As a result, when Elizabeth had a terrible toothache, she was too terrified to have it pulled. Her advisors urged her to see a barber surgeon, but she refused, fearing the pain. To convince her it wasn't deadly, a brave courtier had to undergo the extraction right in front of her, just to prove it wasn't deadly. Worst of all, the infections in Elizabeth's mouth weren't just painful. They were dangerous. Bacteria from her diseased teeth could enter her bloodstream, putting her at risk of deadly illnesses. Ironically, Elizabeth's blackened teeth became a trend among English nobles. Because sugar was expensive, tooth decay became a sign of wealth. Some noble women would even blacken their own teeth with soot to look like they could afford as many sweets as the Queen. But rotten teeth were the least of Elizabeth's problems. Years earlier, her mother, Anne Boleyn, lost her head. Why? Click here to uncover the truth.